Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. I am Old Man 102. Welcome back to the channel, and let's take a look at Railway Empire 2. Jump into this tutorial, let's go into the basics, and let's see what the game has to offer. I did get this as a Christmas gift from my son. It's the first time chance I've had to load it up. It is,
Greetings. I've been expecting you. I'm Lawrence Vanderswag, and I want to help you find your way in the world of railways. I'll tell you everything you need to know to set up a successful transport company.
Well, thank you, Lawrence. What I was going to say, it is Saturday the 6th of January as I record this.
Of course, if you want to make money transporting passengers, mail, and freight, you need to understand where the need for new railway lines is greatest. This is, for example, where goods are produced. Have a look at the map. Move the map in all directions and change the zoom level.
So WASD, scroll wheel,
And now,
in and out.
turn the camera in all directions. Very well. Now take a closer look at the area around the two cities, San Francisco and Sacramento.
San Francisco, Sacramento.
Cities and rural businesses are crucial to the transportation business. Cities produce factory goods, mail, and travelers. There is a need for transportation to other cities for these goods. Farms in the countryside produce basic goods and raw materials, which are also needed by cities. As long as there are no railroads, all goods must be transported via simple rural roads. But these transports do not cover long distances, are tedious and slow. Therefore, the transport volume is not very high. Through the railroad, the old transport routes can be replaced. In addition, cities and farms that were previously too far apart can be connected. Improving goods supply ensures that cities grow. Rural businesses in the countryside also grow because they can sell more goods. Take a closer look at Sacramento. Under the name, you can see the size of the city. Move your focus to the city and you'll see what it currently produces for export to other cities. Sacramento has a steady supply of passengers, mail, and export goods every day, some of which is destined for San Francisco. San Francisco, in turn, has goods for Sacramento. Build a rail link between the two cities to take these shipments. First, construct a railroad station in Sacramento. Open the building construction to select it. Then move it to a valid location within the Sacramento City region. It's best to rotate it so that the tracks face San Francisco.
Alright, so it is, I think it's shift. Yeah, so shift and middle mouse. So we want it pretty much in this direction. I guess we had to wait until it turns white. There we go.
By the way, each station can be expanded after construction with up to 2 additional buildings and 7 tracks. However, certain buildings like factories can get in the way of expanding the tracks. Therefore, do not build the station too close to these buildings. Now build the second station in San Francisco. Move the station to a valid position within the city borders and turn it preferably to the southeast so that you can get well around the bay in the next step. Very good. And now establish a track connection between the two cities. To do this, open the track construction mode and select the first station track at both stations in turn. The stations will then be connected and the entire track will be shown to you as a preview, which you can still modify.
Alright, can we go here around the bay? Oh, it's not going to let me in the tutorial. Okay, so it's only going to let me go from point to point.
The preview track follows the shortest path. However, this is not always possible and often not the cheapest solution. Especially tunnels and bridges can be very expensive. In the overview, you can see how the track construction costs are composed. To change the course of a proposed track, you can insert track points and then move them. Now set such a track point once by selecting the track. Now optimize the cost of the track with the help of track points. Please note that length, slopes, as well as tight curves will have a negative effect on the travel time of your trains. Then confirm the construction.
Well, let me put it there. Let's see if we can just...
Very good.
Very good.
The track has been built and can be used immediately. Now set up a rail line.
Okay, how do I set up a rail line?
Now add your stations to the rail line by selecting them one by one. It's enough if the rail line has 2 stations. Now assign the type of locomotive to the train line which all trains should use. At the moment, you have only 1 locomotive to choose from. Now specify how many trains should run on the rail line. To start off, 1 train is enough. The display tells you how many trains are currently active and how many you have requested. For each train, you have to pay the cost of purchasing the locomotive. Now, confirm this cost. Fantastic! The train is now immediately deployed and will soon be on its way. Now, close the edit mode to see the rail line in action. Zoom in on the train and watch it load. The train is loading goods, passengers, and mail destined for the other city. Let's wait until the train reaches the other city. By the way, you can increase the gameplay speed at any time. Also, the game runs faster when you zoom out.
Where's the train at? Oh, it's down here. Also, it automatically puts cars on. All we gotta do is select the engine. That's cool. So let's do the whole speed it up thing for the tutorial. Oh, it's only 2 speeds. Okay. Oh, if we built a tunnel over here, man. We probably could have done better on track construction, but, you know. It's the tutorial. I'm sure I'll have enough time to screw the game up. Alright, so just zoom out. We'll let it go, we'll let it go, and then we'll zoom back in when it gets closer. And then we'll go back down. As it gets closer, we'll go back down to 1 speed. And watch it pull into the station. May have to turn this sound down a little, the game sounds down a little bit. Let me know in the comments.
The train has arrived and is being unloaded. The numbers rising above the train are the transport revenue. This is the most important source of revenue for your company. However, each train also generates personnel and maintenance costs, but more on that later. Keep watching for a bit, and this tutorial will end.
How much money do we... Oh, so there we go. 17,800 and some bucks. Alright, let's finish this one. Oh, we got a Steam achievement. Completed the first tutorial, man.
Hello! In this lesson, I want to give you some additional information about track construction. You already know the basics, but I have a few important tips.
Give me those tips, man.
First, consider the cattle farm with the road connection to Sacramento. The road tells us that the farm can deliver goods to the city, in this case, livestock to the meat industry. But transportation by roads is slow and limited. Sacramento could produce more meat if the city received more livestock.
All right, San Francisco, which is up there. Okay.
Therefore, you are now to establish a railroad connection between the cattle farm and Sacramento. In order for a rural business to use a station, the station must be set up nearby. This is indicated to you by a line from the farm to the station.
Now, I'm wondering if we should put it on this lower end or on this upper end, maybe, so we can get a rail line eventually into San Francisco. But look at this terrain here. So I'm thinking we may have to come out and around and then over. So I'm thinking we grab a train station. I think we're going to... Let me rotate. I think we shift. Yeah, let's put it this way. Now, how close do we... Oh, so I can actually get it there because it's turned... No, see, like, okay, I need the 2 arrows to come up. And then we can get both industries in here.
Very good. And now, build a track between the new station and the station in Sacramento. Don't use the first 2 station tracks in Sacramento, though, because we still need them for the connection to San Francisco.
Don't use the first 2. Hang on. Tell me, okay, so he wants us to put it there. And he wants us to come up here. But don't use the first 2, go to the 3rd.
Great! But before you build the track, I want to explain how you can influence the height of a track. To do this, insert a track point on the track and change its height.
Oh.
You will see the controls at the bottom of the screen when you move the focus over the track point. With the height of a track point, you can influence tunnels, bridges, and slopes. Now, optimize the track so that no tunnels or bridges are needed, and the track has a length of less than 250 kilometers or 160 miles. Then, confirm the track construction.
Oh, all right, looks good to me.
Excellent. Now, set up a rail line between the cattle operation and Sacramento. To do this, create a new rail line between the 2 stations, select a locomotive and a train, and confirm the cost. That done, the rail line can begin service. But suppose the demand for cattle becomes so great that 1 train on this line is not enough. Then you would have to add another train. But this is not possible at the moment because there are no parallel tracks. Therefore, you should now build a side track and define directions of travel so that several trains can operate between the cattle farm and Sacramento. Open the track build mode again. Now select the track at the marked position to insert a switch. Now it gets tricky. You have to lay the new track as a parallel track to the existing one. Parallel tracks are much cheaper and offer many advantages. Move your cursor to the marked position and make sure that the parallel track symbol appears on the cursor. Then confirm the position.
Huh? Laid as parallel tracks. Parallel tracks are much cheaper. What's the parallel track symbol?
Now select the track at the marked position to insert a switch.
Hang on, I didn't do the first part, man.
Now it gets tricky. You have to lay the new track as a parallel track to the existing one. Parallel tracks are much cheaper and offer many advantages. Move your cursor to the marked position and make sure that the parallel track symbol appears on the cursor. Then confirm the position.
So it's not going to let me put like points in. It's going to make me go directly here. And it's not going to let me connect it. So
now select the track at the marked position to insert a switch. Now it gets tricky.
It won't let me
You
put
have to lay the new track as a parallel track to the existing one. Parallel tracks are much cheaper and offer many advantages. Move your cursor to the marked position and now select the track at the marked position to insert a switch. Now it gets tricky. You have to lay the new track as a parallel track to the existing one.
It won't let
Parallel
me.
tracks are much cheaper and offer many advantages. Move your cursor to the marked position and make sure that the parallel track symbol appears on the cursor. Then confirm the position.
It won't let me, man.
Now select the track at the marked position to insert a switch.
Oh, there we go. Parallel track. No.
Now it gets tricky. You have to lay the new track as a parallel track to the existing one. Parallel tracks are much cheaper and offer many advantages. Move your cursor to the marked position and make sure that the parallel track symbol appears on the cursor.
Oh, there we go. We can
Then
just-
confirm
I
the
gotcha.
position.
Oh, it's not going to let me. Wrong position. Come on, man. What are you talking about? It won't let me. It won't let me. Okay, I see you as a parallel track. It won't let me connect. It won't let me connect anywhere. Won't let me connect.
Now select the track at the marked position to insert a switch.
Well, then let's do this. Let's go from here, actually. From here. No, won't let me even put it up there. Won't let me put it up there.
Now it gets tricky. You have to lay the new track as a parallel track to the existing one. Parallel tracks are much cheaper and offer many advantages. Move your cursor to the marked position and make sure that the parallel track symbol appears on the cursor. Then confirm the position. Very good.
Okay.
Now the track will continue to be built as a parallel track. Now select the last position for your
There we
sidetrack
go.
near the cattle farm. You will see the complete track with 2 switches as a preview. Then confirm the construction and pay for this track. Now you have to set directions for the 2 parallel tracks. Otherwise, your trains will always choose the shortest way and not use the sidetrack. Now open the direction mode and select both tracks several times so that they receive different directions. Very good. Now your trains can go one way and return the other. Why don't you zoom in close to one of the new turnouts and take a look at the signals that were automatically created by the turnouts and the direction of travel. These signals define directions of travel and tell trains where to stop if the track section in front of them is already occupied or reserved. But at the moment, you don't need a second train on this route, because your rail line can already transport much more livestock than the previous rural road. This allows the meat industry in Sacramento to produce more meat, which also benefits your rail line to San Francisco. Now, let's take a closer look at this rail line. Open the Sacramento City dialog by selecting the Sacramento City borders. You can select anything except special buildings.
Huh? Selecting the Sacramento City borders.
Important information
Oh, there
about
we
the
go.
city is shown here. At the top, the citizens of the city are displayed. Below that is how many wagons of goods the citizens and the industries in the city could consume and how well this demand is currently covered. Furthermore, the current train usage is shown for freight, passengers, and mail. Below that, it shows how many passengers and how much mail are currently waiting for transport and how much is added per week. It is important to note here, these express goods do not wait forever. For example, after a few days of waiting, travelers will gradually abandon their journey or look for another way. The same is true for mail. So if you want to transport as many express goods to San Francisco as possible, a train should leave Sacramento every 5 to 10 days. However, Your existing rail line only has one train and only reaches Sacramento every 15 to 20 days, so you have to put in another train. However, this route does not offer any alternative options for several trains. Now you have to change that, but this time with a different method than before. Open the track construction mode and build a railway line from track 2 in Sacramento to track 2 in San Francisco. You will see that this track is automatically planned as a parallel track and is therefore very convenient.
Oh, look at that. It puts it exactly next to the other one. I'm going to build it.
The two parallel tracks do not help yet. We still have to connect them. There is a very practical method for this, the station gridiron. With it, you can connect parallel tracks in front of stations. Select the station gridiron and build it in front of the Sacramento and San Francisco stations.
Oh, sorry about that. I had a sneeze. All right. Oh, so it's got to be out so far. All right, so there's one there. How far out could we get one here?
Excellent. Now set different directions for the two parallel tracks so that the trains can avoid each other. Select the track direction mode again and set different directions for the two tracks by selecting the track sections. Excellent. By setting directions, all signals are automatically created here as well. Now your track is ready for more trains. Close the track construction mode and select the rail line from Sacramento to San Francisco. You can do this in several ways. First, you can simply select the train that is traveling between the two cities. Do that. You can also simply switch through all your rail lines. Try that too. And there is a third way. Select a track between San Francisco and Sacramento. Then, a list of all the rail lines that use this track will open on the left. You can also select the desired rail line from this list. Now select Edit Rail Line and increase the number of trains to 2. The cost of this is for the locomotive, which has to be bought new. Fortunately, the wagons cost you nothing. Confirm the cost so the second train can be purchased, and then close the mode. Perfect! Take a close look at the station and the station gridiron in Sacramento. The new train can be created immediately, because thanks to the gridiron, both tracks are available to the rail line. The gridiron is more than just a crossover. While the train always chooses the shortest way at a crossover, at the gridiron, free tracks at the station are preferred. You can place gridirons at all parallel tracks in front of a station if there is enough space available, because the more tracks are to be connected, the longer the structure. Since the station gridiron can only be used by one train at a time, I wouldn't recommend you to connect more than 4 parallel tracks. Now let's wait for the train.
Oh my goodness, sorry about that. Coughing in your ear. Yeah, I think I'm going to turn the sounds down, the background sounds down a little bit. Okay, so we waited for the train, now what? You give me the next part of this tutorial.
And already the
There we
new
go.
train is on the way. By the way, the train number of the train you are currently looking at is shown above. Switch through the trains on your train line once. This is useful, for example, if you want to see what each train has loaded. And that's the end of this lesson. You now know how to create switches, side tracks, parallel tracks, track directions, and station gridirons. With this, you can already create any complex track system. You'll figure out other objects like crossings as you build tracks yourself.
Well, track construction seems fairly simple. You don't have to worry about complicated signals or where to put signals on, like some of the other train
Welcome
games.
to my lesson on locomotive maintenance. First, you need to know that all locomotives have different maintenance intervals and consumption depending on their type. Take a look at the rail line between Sacramento and San Francisco.
Okay, you want me to click on the line? Click on the train.
Here you can see the current state of the locomotive. The lower the condition is, the more often the train has a breakdown and stops on the way. Locomotives are automatically repaired at stations if they have a maintenance depot. To do this, try choosing the station in Sacramento.
In Sacramento we are.
Here you can select Construct Extension. Do that and take a look at the options available. Then build a maintenance depot.
$80,000. Oh my goodness.
Very good. Whenever the state bar of a locomotive has dropped to about 60%, it will be serviced. And since the Sacramento station is used by both of your train lines, the maintenance depot also benefits both train lines. Now close the station again and select a train line once more. These 3 bars show the levels of water, sand, and oil. If operating materials are missing, the locomotive will be significantly slower. Water is needed on a daily basis. Sand is needed when going uphill to increase the friction of the wheels. Oil is needed to lubricate moving parts, and the amount required is dependent upon the distance traveled. All of the operating materials that a locomotive requires can be obtained at supply towers, which must be built along the tracks. Open the building menu and select the supply tower. Now build a supply tower near each of the marked positions.
Wrong position. Alright, you lost me. Can you put it here? Or you want more than one? You wanted more than one, but you wouldn't let me put it there. What the hell? Wrong position. Oh, you want one over here.
Very good. Both rail lines can now reach a supply tower. You can build them at any position along your lines, but they should be far enough away from switches and stations so that a long train can stop at them without creating conflicts. There is one more building that has to do with maintenance, the maintenance post. Select this building type. Unlike the maintenance depot or the supply tower, the maintenance post is not a required building type. It is suitable, however, when many trains come together in a small space because the maintenance post can reduce breakdowns and thus long traffic jams and conflicts considerably. However, this also results in daily upkeep costs.
So, do we put one up here near... How come track utilization is 0%? It only goes on the one line, does it go on multiple lines? Where do you want me to put it? Currently not available. Okay.
This brings us to the end of this lesson. Feel free to look around some more. Once you have finished, this tutorial will end. This lesson is about optimizing rail lines, specifically how to optimize the revenue of a rail line according to its tasks. For this purpose, select a train of the rail line from Sacramento to San Francisco. Since this rail line operates between two cities, it transports passengers and mail. These two goods are among the express goods because they require fast transportation. Consequently, the faster the transport, the higher the transport revenue. For example, the faster you transport a passenger, the higher the ticket revenue. Now open the balance sheet of the rail line. Here you can see, among other information, what revenues the selected train had on its last full tour. As you can see, revenue for freight transportation also plays a role. While Sacramento produces meat, San Francisco has cloth. Fixed prices are paid for freight transportation, so speed is not a factor here. Now consider the costs. Maintenance and fuel are mainly affected by the length of a tour, but personnel generates daily costs, so speed plays a factor here. Also, a rail line can transport more if it is faster. However, freight is much heavier than express goods, and a locomotive cannot be fast and powerful at the same time. Therefore, there are different locomotives. For example, on this rail line, a mixed-use locomotive is used. This is always good if the load consists of at most half freight goods. If there is a higher percentage of freight, a freight locomotive would be better, because the train will otherwise be very slow even on slight inclines. We now want to test a freight locomotive and one for express goods between the two cities. Open the Research and Development section. Here you will see many technologies that you can unlock over the years. They improve countless aspects of your business. These include higher ticket prices, happier passengers, and even more modern locomotives. Your current locomotive is the Dunham. Select it and let's take a look at its data. Compare the speed, tractive power, and suitability of the Dunham with the two locomotives to the right of the Dunham, the Derwent and the Firefly. You can see that the fast Firefly has a much lower tractive power than the powerful Derwent. This means that the Firefly is much worse at pulling heavy loads, but much faster at pulling light loads. Now, unlock these two locomotives so you can use them in your rail line. Very good. Now close this dialog. Now optimize the rail line for express goods. Exchange the locomotive for the Firefly and select Express as the load type. Then pay the cost for the new locomotives and close this dialog.
How do I know it's express? Once the Firefly.
Now watch your rail line and use the fast forward function if you like. It will only pick up express goods and it will reach a much higher speed than before. After a while, it will even show the express symbol. This means your rail line is the fastest of its time and gets even higher ticket revenue. You don't have to offer an express line, of course. Everything works with slower and mixed transports as well. But suppose you have a good reason for this optimization. Then of course, freight transport is missing. If you can't transport freight on the same tracks, that would slow down the express train. Therefore, you should expand the tracks from Sacramento to San Francisco. To do this, extend the 2 parallel tracks from Sacramento to San Francisco by 2 more tracks. Then build a station gridiron at each station, connecting each of the 4 tracks. You can just build the new station gridiron on top of the previous one, but be aware that the new gridiron is much longer. Don't forget the directions for the new tracks.
Okay, so it wants us to build 2 more tracks. Oh, we gotta build it. And we'll grab this one. That one, and then we need gridiron to put on top of the existing one. Okay. Why will it not let me? Hold on, let's do... How do I do... I forget how to do the track direction already. Track direction. And then... Station gridiron. Station gridiron must be set further. Okay, but it won't let me. I thought it said I can add on to this one. Then build a station gridiron at each section. Yeah, I'm definitely going to turn the background sounds down. Okay, will it not let me? Well, okay, so way out here. All right. So that way.
Now create a new rail line from Sacramento to San Francisco. To make it use the new tracks, you need to set waypoints. To do this, select the following 4 objects in sequence: Sacramento, the outbound track; San Francisco, the return track.
Sacramento. Do this, okay. Sacramento, outbound track. Would be this one? No. Alright, let's see if I mess this up. Outbound track. Oh, San Francisco. And then the return track. Which one is it?
Very good. Now use the Derwent as the locomotive. Select freight to be loaded because this rail line should only carry freight.
Derwin. Great.
That's exactly how it's done. Normally trains always take the shortest way, but by using waypoints you can specify certain paths. You should also do this for your express line, so that the two lines don't get in each other's way. Otherwise, we're through with this lesson, so when you're ready, you can finish it. Greetings! This lesson is about how you can recognize the needs of a city and use them to your advantage. I'll also show you how to invest in the production of goods to ensure additional transport and growing cities, which in turn leads to even more transport. Open the city dialogue of Sacramento and then the supply and demand list. This list shows you, among other things, how high the stock of all goods is and how high the current demand by citizens and factories is. As an example, look at grain. The city needs grain, yet the supply is at 0. This is because the nearest grain farm is too far away and is virtually unsupplied by traditional transportation. The same is true for lumber. So with the help of new rail lines, we could improve the goods coverage of the city. For corn, however, there is some supply. Here, a corn farm is nearby and goods are transported via road. A new rail line would generate revenue, but would not improve the city's fulfillment of demand until the city has grown too large for traditional transportation. Now, close the list again and look for suitable businesses to improve the city's fulfillment of demand so that the city can grow. To the north of Sacramento, there is lumber, and in the northeast, there is grain available. Now build a station at both farms and connect them to Sacramento, preferably with double tracks and a gridiron.
Oh, sure. Doesn't want both grain and lumber. Sure, why not? How the hell am I supposed to build them with double tracks? Alright, so let's go. Let's see if I can do this. Track construction, building construction, train station. Okay, so we got this part down. Now where are we going? We're going to go over there. I have no idea where over there, but we're going to go over there. So let's turn you, I guess, this way. How far out can I get you? Right there. Alright, now let's go to track construction. Where are you going to come in at? Over here, though. That's the problem. So now you're going to cross this existing line. That's going to be a problem. Let's go here. Let's go to the second one. And then we're going to go up here. I've lost the farm. Won't let me. Oh, okay, hang on. It will let me. Well, why will it not let me? What the heck? Oh, I can't cross over that track. Now how do I deal with that? I can't cross over this track. And it won't let me put it on those. How do I cancel that? There we go. Will it let me put it over here? Or no, because that track's already being used. Okay, so it will let me build it onto that one. But I don't want to build it onto that one because I want to leave the first one open. Let's delete that. Let's go to the second one then. So we go to this one. Actually, let's go here. Let's go here. here. And then let's build that, and let's go station gridiron. No, gridiron. No, it's track construction. Here. 2. Okay, so you're not going to let me do that, are you? No. Track construction. No. Alright, hold on. How do I get that second track on? Track construction. I don't want track direction. I want the gridiron. I want a second track. There we go. Can I build it? It's not going to let me. Oh, it's not allowed on a bridge. Oh, you're kidding me. Well, this doesn't make it any easier. Let's start down here. See if we can get it down here. Can I come off of here? There we go. Possibly. Now throw a second track in. Oh, is he going to want to do it on that side? It's going to want to do it on that side. Oh, there we go. Maybe? No. What the hell? What the hell? Alright, let's just go here. There we go. Okay, it won't let me. Too close to an existing track. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh, and it's on a bridge. Will it not let me because it's on a bridge? Alright, let's go up here. Still won't let me. You've got to be freaking kidding me. About ready to delete this first line and start over. So well, let me collect it on a bridge, and up here it's telling me it's too close. How can I can't even delete this track now, can I? Can I delete this track and start over? It won't even let me delete this track and start over. Great. So I can't get a second track on here. because of the tunnel and the bridge, it's not going to let me put a second track on there. Let's see if we can't figure this one out then. Where am I going? I'm going to come down here. We're going to go into one of the first lines. So I'm thinking we need something. Let's go building construction. Let's go something like that. And let's see if we can figure out the track construction here. Get a double line in. So let's go there, and then let's go build.
Don't forget to also set track directions and build supply towers. Then set up one rail line for each good so that they can be delivered to Sacramento. We will continue once the first goods arrive in Sacramento.
You're not going to let me build the second line? Okay, then the heck with it. Oh no, now it definitely wants me to do the second now. It's going to let me do one here. Nope. So if I go here, and then there. Okay, so it's going to let me do it there. And then we build gridiron. Where? Cannot be constructed. Here's just the parallel tracks are. Oh, so I can do direction first. How do I set the direction? How do I set the direction? I want a new rail line. Track direction. Oh, there we go. Now will it let me do a gridiron? Cannot be constructed since parallel tracks in its area must not change. Okay. Now it's not going to let me do one over on this track though. Then you know what? Will it let me build? Let's see. Let's go here. Let's see if it'll let us do this. Throw a second line in completely. Oh, I can't now because it's on the wrong one. Oh. So what's it going to do to me? It's because they won't build on a bridge. I'll hook it into this guy. I need to hook it into this guy somehow. When can I get a parallel track right there? When can I get... Ooh, hold on, had it. Oh, it's not going to let me. Too tight. Son of a gun. Now, will it let me put it up here? How far back can I go? There we go. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't forget to set track direction and build supply towers. Okay, so we need supply towers. Can we put a supply tower on a bridge? Of course not. We cannot. So can we get a supply tower in here anywhere? Oh, that's gonna suck. We'll put one there because this is on a bridge. It's not going to let us put one anywhere. Okay, don't forget to set track direction to build supply towers. Set up one rail line for each good so they can be delivered to Sacramento. So now if I click on, how do I do this? Where's this station? We want build a new rail line, track construction, new rail line. We want to go from here to, see if I remember how to do this. Oop, not San Francisco. To Sacramento. Hang on. We want to go from here. Oh no. To Sacramento? Why will it not let me? Oh, can I confirm? Requires at least 2. Alright, let's go. New rail line. Sacramento. To... It won't let me. Stations not reached from previous stations, and therefore... So it's not going to let me put these on this track because this track has passengers. So I need to... Alright. I'm going to call it here. We're an hour in. I am Old Man 102. Please smash that like and subscribe on your way out, and have an awesome day.